Hey guys, it's Squishy Mushroom, and well, it's been quite a bit since you've last seen me. I'm in a different room. This is not gonna be my usual setup. That's just kind of temporary, just for this little video, and it's also not a full-on return of my content for now. But I kind of wanted to just make this little video as just kind of why things have been the way they've been, why I've had to move locations and whatnot, and also I guess kind of what happened with that one community post where you could kind of see it as a bit of a meltdown. Uh, so to give the full story, well, I guess kind of starts off long ago, but well, thing about me is, well, I have both my mom and dad. I see them both regularly. Well, I used to, but that's besides the point. But like, both my blood parents, they divorced when I was at a very young age. So, I mean, I never saw them together. I never really knew what it was like having those two actually be together. Maybe it's for the best, but whatever. That being said, I still got to see both my mom and my dad frequently. It started off kind of like half of a week, and now it's just like every week where, I'd go see my mom for a week, then dad for a week, usual stuff. You don't need to know all the details, I guess, but, I still got to see him and all that. And while my dad remained single, at least I assume, I never really saw him with a romantic partner. My mom did remarry, and thus I had my stepdad in my life. So it kind of was a bit of a way to see what it's kind of like to have both parents in my life, even though, stepdad's not, my real dad, but it's like, it felt like that, And my stepdad, I like my stepdad, and he's a pretty chill dude. So it's like, if my actual dad was not my dad, I mean, I wouldn't have minded if my stepdad was, my real dad. I would not have minded that. And, well, for a very long time, I got to, they were both in my life. But then came June of 2024, where things started to change. Because, well, yeah, my mom and my stepdad were both splitting up. They're having relationship problems, all that. They divorced, and because of that, my mom went and moved out of the house that I have used to record videos for almost 8 years now. Thanks, lightning. But that's where she lived, but then she went and moved out. And well, she moved about like 30 or so miles from where that house was. I think I could be wrong on those numbers, like somewhere around that there. I won't, give the exact locations or anything. But, she moved out, and, well, I was given the choice to, go with her, live with her over at that over there. And also, for the record, she moved over there because that's where her job is, where she works. It brings her closer to that, because otherwise, getting to her job, it took like half an hour to an hour. And I mean, I don't entirely blame her for doing that. That being said, I chose not to live in with her. And it's nothing against my mom. It was mostly just distance. It was mostly just kind of too far for me. I probably would have felt a little, I guess, homesick. And frankly, I don't know what the town where she went over to would have had for me specifically. And where I am now, I mean, I got to see my buddy Riley, ArchXYZ, we did content. We obviously have multi-pals, but of course, during that time, it was, June of 2024. It was also when I was recording Security Breach at his house, because what I was doing on his PlayStation 5 console I don't own. And because of that, I didn't really want to go that far of a distance just to hang out with Riley. And so I ended up having it well, not now, but for a while, it was now usually a week where I got to see my dad, and then a week where I hung out with my stepdad. Which, I mean, definitely, I feel like some people are like, oh, you should be with your mom. And, like, it's kind of selfish, maybe, but I don't like being too far away from where I normally am. Like a vacation, I can tolerate it, but after a while, it's just like, I just want to be on familiar ground. And while eventually that could be familiar ground, it's just, I mean, too much of a hassle. I mean, probably too much gas. Just didn't want to go through all that hassle. And for about 2 years, things seemed pretty normal. I mean, the whole experience was pretty rough. I'd managed to, I guess, hide it for a while. It took months for me to, even tell this personally with all my friends. And only now, I guess, is when I'm talking about it publicly. But for a couple years, that is how I've been living usually. Content usually just remains the same. But now we come to this year. And it was even more rougher because, my stepdad, this year is when he was retiring. Well, I guess he is retired now, I assume, because, look where I am now, but this was his year for retirement, and because of that, he was planning on selling that house that I've lived for almost a decade. Which means I would have to be moving out, and I don't know where he is right now. I assume he's probably on some, vacation, I guess you could say. But where he's settling down. And I have not talked to him for well over a month. But what's kind of frustrating about all this is that, well, around this time I got my car, my current car I drive, re-registered and all that. And, there was talks about, him selling the house, and my mom was there as well, to help get the car all sorted out. And, he brought that up. And he planned for it to be October when he was retiring, but I guess he retired early. I don't know what's up with that, but he didn't work anymore. And so because of that, now I had to move out of here June. All of a sudden. And I learned this about early May. So I did not have much time to do this, which was kind of frustrating. I wish it was, I guess, time better. I also, when other stuff I've got going on, I wish it could have waited until things were, easier, when I don't have other things going on in my life. And well, with that meant, but with the whole moving thing, that meant I'd have to be fully moved in with my dad's. I'd just be living with my dad's for, as, I guess, however long I end up being here. I don't know. And yes, I'm 23. I still live with my parents. Yeah. It's where I feel comfortable. I mean, I'm still in college, and I feel like just staying in my normal ground, that helps me out. Frankly, taking it easy, like taking my time before if I ever decide to, live on my own or whatever. But yeah, I had a month to get everything out of my room out. Like that's really the only thing that mattered from my side of things. Besides the one other room where I played my Wii and Wii U in, but that's really that's about it. And one thing that was gonna happen, and maybe it still will, but who knows at this point, but one thing that was gonna happen where it was, well, the thing is, well, I have pets, well, for a while, and well, you've probably seen my pets throughout various videos, but well, when my mom moved out, prior to it, we had, at the time, 5 dogs and 2 cats. But then the movie thing happened, and she brought 3 of our dogs to her place. One of which was like emotional support, and the other 2 were like guard dogs, which left my stepdad with 2 cats and 1 dog. And the 1 dog was, I guess, my emotional support animal. And of course the 2 cats here and there. One of my cats ended up going to, I guess, my stepdad's grandkids. I guess I assume that's where they are now. I mean, that and granted, that cat was out of here before the movie. That was back in 2025, so I was like, it was a little unfortunate that I didn't get to see that cat off, but at the same time, it's like, okay, maybe it's for the best they live there. So then that left the 1 remaining dog and the 1 remaining cat, and the plan was stepdad would take the cat that I would take the dog. But with all this, but one thing that was a big issue with moving in here to this house fully, full time, was putting the desk together. Like that was something that'd be difficult to set up, and it'd be probably dangerous for the little dog. So ultimately what ended up happening was I couldn't, take him right away. But because of that, stepdad took the dog with him, but left the cat in the old house. Just left them there. Which was kind of what tipped me over the edge. Partially because, one, I don't have my dog by my side. Maybe at some point he will be, but for now he's not. I guess I also forgot to mention the other dog, by the way. Who passed away shortly after my mom moved out, which was heartbreaking. Yeah, that didn't make things any better. I guess I forgot to mention. But anyways, back to everything, back to current day, where I don't have my emotional support dog with me. I don't have him. And then the cat is just abandoned. And I don't know if that cat has found a new home. I don't know where that cat is now. That was a month ago. I have not spoken about it since, and I really don't know. I hope that's all taken care of. But if not, I mean, what the fuck? But hopefully she's in a better home. I hope she's not still abandoned there. I assume not. I mean, I'm pretty sure the house is for sale now. Would be wrong with that. I really don't know. I have just not really talked to stepdad or my mom about what's been going on with all of that. But I assume things are probably better. But I really don't know. But yeah, just with all that was going on, I mean, just with it feeling like it felt like I lost an entire half of my family, with all that's going on. It's really just, now I just see whoever of my dad's family. I'll probably still get to see them, my mom's side and all that, and I guess my stepdad. I might still get to see them. But it's definitely more of a rarity than a common occurrence. And that's what really broke me. A couple days after that, I was just a wreck. I was just at an absolute low point. But luckily, I feel like I am mentally better and surprisingly quicker than I thought. I honestly felt like I was gonna be just kind of offline for much longer. But I think I'm okay right now. Obviously, not everything's perfect and everything, but I think I am at a point where life's not so bad anymore. I mean, you know, I kind of didn't talk to any of my friends for, you know, about a week. You know, I logged out of my Instagram and Facebook, which I don't really use much anyways, but still. And I logged out of my Discord and only used YouTube as just a way to, I guess, entertain myself. But for a week, I just was offline mostly. With just like YouTube was really my only connection to the internet for a while of just watching it. But then, you know, I was back and everyone welcome to be back and all that, and you know, in my our Discord and all that, and I feel like I'm healing, and I think that'll be good for me. And that being said, I don't. That doesn't mean I'm prepared to, you know, do content again as much as I want to do content. But it's more so I just can't really do that just because I'm a month later. I'm still getting settled in, despite, you know, feeling like there's not much. I mean, the desk is kind of complete. I think there might be one more thing I might need to be done on it. I don't know, but it hypothetically could be working. Be a decent setup right now. But part of the problem is at some point that room that I'm going to be planning on doing content in, there's no power in it, so I can't even use it. And we haven't gotten around to, you know, fixing that, but hopefully at some point, well, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know when I'll be back. Maybe it will, in fact, be sometime in August. Maybe it'll be later than that. I don't know, but I hope to be back sometime this year. I don't know when, but I hope it'll be sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching me ramble for about 2 minutes. I guess now 23, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Squishy Mushroom signing out.